Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to get started shortly. Welcome in, Terry Lynn. Hi, Elizabeth. Hey, Farag. Hi, Scuba Steve. What's up, Biggie? Welcome in. You guys, happy Easter. Happy Easter Sunday. Happy 420. Happy Taurus season. There's a lot of things happening. Today's the start of a lot of new things. So I can't wait to be able to chat with you guys and just unpack all of the things, right? But if y'all could do me a favor before we get started here, go ahead and share this live with at least, I want to say like 15 friends. Let's aim high. Let's go all the way to 15. Let's share this with 15 friends and we're going to get started momentarily. Of course, I always have to do my announcements prior to us getting into the nitty gritty. Also want to make sure that I put it out there. This episode, trigger warning, can be a little touchy. There are some subjects and topic matters that may potentially be deemed disturbing and or hard to process. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware that your mental health is priority while we're doing tonight's live, because, you know, at the end of the day, that's kind of all we have, right? So while the topics are sensitive, I also want you to prioritize your mental health as we dive into tonight's topics. So if y'all could continue to share the live. Thank you for popping in here. I see you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to get rocking and rolling momentarily. Talk Berry to Me is live every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific time. We are going to be continuing the mindset and movement starting on Mondays. Last week with all the just getting it together from JBY, we didn't really quite get a chance to jump back into that. But we're going to get it together, guys, I promise. And we're going to get back moving. We were recovering. So, but we'll definitely get back to the mindset and movement. And I know a lot of you guys enjoy that. So, there's a lot of topics to cover. This is a pretty busy episode. So bear with me as we go through the different things here. I want to also just keep in mind, even if you don't necessarily agree, let's try to be super respectful with each other if we can be. In the chat, let's try to keep it cute, keep it classy. I know we have some mods down there. Shout out to the mods. Also, shout out to the guys of the Berry Mill Experience. They are live on Taco Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific time. So we are going to work our way through all of this, and hopefully we keep the live. In the event that feelings get a little hurt or ruffle, please understand that is not the intent. This is coming from a space of just concern, a space of loving this community and understanding that people don't talk about it, but we talk about it because we don't shy away from hard topics here on Talk Berry to Me. So let's get right into it. How many of you guys kind of lost it when you looked at the flyer? Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I got a lot of pushback on this one. Did you guys look at the flyer and were like, what in the actual book is going on here? Let me know in the chat. Ooh, hey, Christine. Welcome in, Drew. I see you, Erica, Tony D in the building. Welcome, welcome. Continue to share the live. Tap that screen. What were your initial thoughts when you guys saw the flyer? Okay, so some of you guys didn't see the flyer. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. Yeah, the SVU music. Hey, Janae, welcome in, my love. Yeah. So, no, yeah, the flyer was very straight to the point, right? So I definitely knew that it was going to come with some pushback, and I got a lot of it, right? And there were some people who are wanting to shut it down before it even got started. And I was really confused because some of these people I didn't even have them on my radar at all. So it was just very interesting that was the feedback, right? Because these are topics that we deal with on a daily basis, being bariatric. Like, how many of us have dealt with, let's start with the food police. Let me know in the chat if you have dealt with the food police while you've been documenting your journey. Go ahead and let me know in the chat. And for those who really aren't familiar with this whole idea of the food police are just folks in the spaces and places that we find ourselves that, they act accordingly. No food police hate to see what I eat in a day. Okay, listen, I love that. If you have not experienced that, I really wholeheartedly am happy for you, because I've only experienced it maybe once, but it's out there. It's out there, and the food police will be dealt with. Now, food police, food Karens, whatever you want to call them, they're out there, right? And here's my question. I'm going to pose this question to you guys in the chat because this is something I was thinking about. Can we really fully and play along with me, guys, right? Can we get upset with the food police or the food Karens all the way? Or if you are a content creator, should you be okay and accepted, or because you're posting it publicly, or should we be giving some pushback? Let me know in the chat. The food police can shove it. Okay. Yes. Okay. And if I miss anything you guys say, I apologize. I'm going to go through this as best I can. I know the chat is jumping. So if you are watching from the For You page, if the For You page watchers, I don't know if you know this, but you're missing out on the chat. The chat is always on fire at TBTM. So make sure you are coming inside. We're not going to judge you. We know the show is what the show is. We want you to come in and dive into the topics as well. Nothing wrong with a healthy debate. Okay, I think everyone should be able to post what they want. As a content creator, you have to be open to all criticism. Don't be surprised if I clap back. Listen. Opinions are like an a-hole. Everyone has one. This is true. So let me see here, because I did invite a guest to join us in this topic matter. I don't know if she made it in here just yet. Let me just look through my list real quick. This young lady was someone who her content was brought to my attention, and she got chewed up pretty bad about posting what she was eating 3 weeks post-op. And let me see if she's here. If not, then I'll share what I observed, and if she comes in, we'll let her share her piece. And I want to just commend anybody who I invited to come up and was willing to do that, because I know it's hard, and I know sometimes the judgment can be really, really harsh, but your voice needs to be heard, right? I don't see her in the chat yet, but we're going to give her some time to come in, and I'll just tell you guys what I saw. So this young lady had VSG. In the video that she had posted, she was expressing that she was 3 weeks post-op, and she was having some form of lo mein, right? I don't know exactly what was in it. I think it was like vegetables, and then chicken wings. The lo mein, vegetables with chicken wings, right? And people were chewing her up bad, like super bad. And I felt really bad, because I'm like, damn, this girl is not that far out. And while we don't always have to agree on what we eat, I also understood that she was doing her best at that time. Now, let me ask you guys, what were your initial thoughts when you hear, okay, 3 weeks post-op, chicken lo mein, chicken wings? I'm curious, what are we thinking? Because I will be honest, I had a little bit of judgment, but then I also came back to this place of, Yeah, you see what I'm saying? We all got a little food Karen in us. Like whether we want to admit it or not, we all got a little bit of that in us because we know that we've been told different things. Not my journey, so none of my business. Okay, look, that is where I had to go back to, right? It is her journey, right? Her journey, her situation. But now let me ask you this. If you guys are posting online, are we sending a message that it's okay to eat whatever you want post-op? Or is this just something that we need to just kind of mind our business on? It's not about being a food Karen. It's also the concern of her stomach being healed. True. Now, I think that's kind of where I was thinking of too. I was thinking, I wonder if she knows that her stomach is still in the healing process. And so eating chicken wings when you just had surgery is scary. Yeah, it can be super scary, but she did have a video that came up that followed that one where she had explained that she hadn't been able to eat anything. Like the shakes weren't settling in her stomach. Nothing that she ate was settling in her stomach. What does her program say? The program definitely did not say that. And because of it, she also expressed that, her journey, her choice. Her journey, her choice, which I heard loud and clear because as a person who also kind of did whatever the hell I wanted, I'm like, how the hell am I going to fix my face to judge her, right? Like, this is her journey. How many of us made really terrible choices at the beginning of our journey? I did. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I could not wrap my mind around blending chicken and then eating it. I couldn't. So what was I doing? I was eating salmon. I was eating foods that I would chew up enough that I was like, all right, this should be good enough. This is puree. Was that what was in my program? Absolutely not. Yeah, it wasn't. I wouldn't judge that. I would have been scared for my healing process though, but that's me. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I guess, when you are kind of learning this journey, it's really easy to just kind of fall on things that you're familiar, right? So this young lady, I wish she was here. I'm sending her another invite. Let me see if she came up at all. If any of you guys want to quickly chime in, I want to give someone an opportunity to come in and talk about what their feelings are. If you want to send a request, feel free to request, because everyone has a different opinion about this food policing thing, or just like in general letting people do whatever the hell they want to do with their journeys. If anyone wants to chime in, feel free to request. I saw a request earlier, but I don't know if it was for this particular part of the topic. I'll be real, I was concerned because of her healing stage, not what she was eating. I was concerned for. I skipped my puree stage and chewed food really well. Her not judging her, but I also kept it to myself. Yeah, I mean, disclaimers necessary. Yeah, let's go ahead and just say this. This is a trigger warning. This may lead to some feelings. All of the topics tonight may lead to some pretty heavy feelings. We're starting at level 1. This is going to escalate, just so y'all know. So if you haven't shared the live, go ahead and share the live with at least 15 friends. We're just getting started. So if you're having some feelings, please take care of your mental health. Please take care of your mental well-being. So if any of this is triggering for you, please make sure you do what you have to do to take care of you. So yeah, we are going to get some judgments. We're going to get some people talking about how we do our journeys. But ultimately, the question that I had was, well, if you are going to eat however you eat on your journey, is it fair to also be transparent about the not so good parts? That, for example, I know there's another creator here who was starting to dabble in some fast food eating, and this person was very transparent about how they didn't bother them to eat the fast food, that they were going to continue to eat the fast food, but they were also very transparent in stating that what they were doing in previous videos did not lead to good results. They ended up having some regain. They ended up having some regain. They documented that, which I could appreciate, because while the initial message is I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat, my journey, my choice, they were also transparent in sharing that this may have not been the best choice. So do you think it makes a difference if we're also sharing that maybe the choices we made at the beginning of our journey wasn't the best choices? I get sick if I overdo fast food. My pouch is a bougie. Listen, mine's too sometimes. You will show the results of the work you put in. So everyone's journey is different. Absolutely. I mean, but we all do things that are looked at as bad. So why is one bad worse than another? Ooh, good point. Good point. I think it's super helpful to post raw and the real. Yeah. And that's what I think. I think that's one of the things that I'm very conscientious of as a content creator. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I sat there and I ate an ice cream sandwich at the beginning of my journey. And while I was tearing that shit up, I did get back on a few hours later after experiencing dumping for the very first time. And baby, it was not cute. It was not cute, but I knew I had a responsibility to get on the platform, and at the same energy I had tearing it up, I had to get back up on this platform and be like, yeah, y'all, I fucked up. I fucked up. So I do think as creators, it is important to have some degree of transparency and not just document the good, right? We have to be honest about what we consume, right? No, we don't have to tell people what we consume, but if you are going to put up what you consume, I think it's fair to also put up what worked and didn't work, right? Learning the hard way is sometimes the best teacher. Fucking yeah, like that's the only way I learn. I'm a stubborn ass Taurus. Shout out to my Taurus in the chat. It's our season, period. 420. If y'all haven't dibbled and dabbled, well, y'all better start now, because we about to get into the next topic. And I do think I see my guest for the next topic in the chat. So I'm going to bring her up. Let me see if she's still in here, because she had a story that I was listening to on her. I was watching her Instagram, and she shared this story about her experience with friends, right? Because we know this community has a tendency of like, you make friendships, everything's sweet, everything's good, everything's lovely, and then next thing you know, your friends become your what? Frenemies, right? How many of y'all have experienced the frenemies? Let me know in the chat. Frenemies, anybody? Frenemies? Hello? Thanks, Tom. Listen, the frenemies, Lord. For those who don't know what frenemies are, right? It's a combination of friends meets enemies. And it becomes this weird fucking thing that it's like, do you like me, or do you want to live in my skin, or do you want me to perish? Like, what is the energy? Like, it's very confusing energy. And I see a lot of y'all know exactly what I'm referring to. Okay, so this young lady shared a story about clothes, right? And I don't want to assume that these people that she was talking about were frenemies, but I do want to bring the attention to the commentaries that may come up with people who, you know, they probably have good intentions, but sometimes it comes off a little haterish, right? A little haterish. Anybody experience any of that? Let me let her come up and tell her story, because I was like, girl, could not be me. Because absolutely not. Absolutely. Let me see if she's here. I just saw her in there. Girl, where you at? Let me see. Where'd she go? Where you at, mamita? Oh, there you are. Let me send you an invite. Because your story had me like, where are these friends and where's these clothes? Because absolutely not. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey. How are you, darling?
I'm good. I'm
Listen,
doing good.
I was like, when you were telling that story, and I don't know if you want to share a little bit, because I know it was a post. So for you guys that already follow her, you probably already heard this story. But about the clothes and the sizing and the little sly comments, can you share that story real quick for me?
Yeah, so one of my friend, well, not now, we're not friends anymore. So that's how that ended for me. But we were friends, a year before she had her procedure, and she was a plus size woman like me. And it was very common, like she's my neighbor. It was very common for us to like swap clothes for date nights or whatever, right? Like, hey, do you have a cute cardigan I could use? Sure, of course, whatever. So she got her surgery and she dropped a big amount of weight very fast. And she started sending me text messages like, hey, so these clothes on me are super massive. She's like, but I know they'll fit you just perfect. I'm like, yeah, you don't got to say it that way. Like, you could just be like, hey, I'm going through my closet. And I've always been like a very big supporter of her surgery prior to her fully committing to it. She almost talked herself out of it a few times. And I was like, dude, if it makes you feel good, do it.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm a good supportive friend. But then she started rolling in with those comments, and then it was like, we walk our kids to school. We live, again, she's my neighbor, and so like now I see her every damn day, and it's the most awkward thing because she'll just like she won't say hi to me on like if her other friends are there. But if like I'm in my yard and she's in her front yard, she'll be like, how are you doing? Oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, we're not, it was just so hard because when I first moved here, we got so close so fast. Yeah. And one of the things we bonded over was obviously food, like cookouts all the time and just, stuff like that. And we got so close so fast that we put like a gate between our yards type of thing. And then now it's like, yeah, we don't talk at all. And it's the most awkward thing in my entire life. So
that is crazy. And folks in the chat completely are in support of you because you are so gracious and so kind about it, because honest to God, that would make me want to fight. And I'm not even about that violence. Like, those days were behind me, but girl, that's rude. That's rude.
Yeah, I was like, we don't got to do that. I was like, and I'm just, again, one of those women. I don't care if you're a plus size woman, and you're all about it and you're so confident. That's great. I want that for everyone. Right. But like, don't shit on me because you lost all your weight and now you're like, well, you're fat. I'm like, okay, well, I just, weight gain regain happens. Like, don't be a jerk, just chill out. And so, yeah, it's been a wild ride, and it's very emotional because I don't intentionally hurt people ever. Yeah. I'm just a genuine, good person with people. And I'm like, my husband's always like, fuck her, tell her what's up. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to like start problems, Right. And now I'm just like, it's slowly happened, right? Like, we put stuff over our gate, so it like grew over with the flowers, and like it's like passively aggressively being done. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, I just don't want any actual issues. But yeah, I used to get comments like that from her all the time, like constantly.
I hate that because I feel like this journey is hard enough as it is, right? So like, when we find community or we find people who are kind of going through the same things we're going through, we're hoping that like we can continue to develop those relationships. Did you find that, like, was it one of those things for you that made the journey harder? Do you feel like it made you kind of question where you were in your journey because of that tension from the frenemy?
Yeah, I think initially, before I committed fully to coming on this journey, I think I was like, shit, what if I start treating people poorly? Like, what if I lose a little weight and it goes to my head, And I've lost weight a few times, you know what I mean? And it just, several times. And I've never treated people so much shit. And so, but I was worried about it. I was like, what if like this drastic change, you gain confidence, and I want everyone to have confidence, but I was like, what if I treat people like shit? And so, and I haven't done it obviously, but so yeah, I was actually really worried that like people I met in the community were just going to be total jerks because of that experience I had with her. So, and it has made my journey a little bit hard because it's hard not to compare yourself to people who are successful in their journey. And she's very successful in her journey, but at the same time, she's such an ugly person that I'm like, oh my God, But it's really hard because, I see her every day. I walk my kid to school with her every day. So it can be pretty challenging. But I always remind myself, like, I just started this journey. And honestly, even if she does lose more weight than me, like, I'm not an ugly ass person. Like, I don't treat people poorly, and that's fine. I'll take the slower route. I'll be all right.
I love that. What would you say to someone, because there's a lot of people in this community that kind of have these kind of fallouts. It's not uncommon, and it's fucked up that it isn't a common issue. But what would you say to someone who's like, well, just lost my, bariatric bestie? What would you tell them?
Honestly, it's really hard. because I feel like I still deal with it like emotionally all the time. And it's been like almost a year and a half. I'm just maybe a slow processor, possibly, or maybe it's because she's my fucking neighbor. I don't know.
Right.
But I think it's one of those things that if you can't communicate with your person, like your friend, and be like, hey, that hurt my feelings without having to worry about them almost intentionally doing other things to, ruin that relationship further. If you guys can have a good conversation and be like, you're hurting my feelings when you're saying stuff like that, then they're probably just not good for you. And honestly, I do feel in the long run that it was better for me, but I don't understand why sometimes it has to hurt so bad removing people from your life.
I know. Well, you are awesome, and I've been watching your journey, and you're doing freaking amazing. And there's so many people that you guys make sure y'all show her some love, who support your journey, who say they follow you already. So you're inspiring a lot of people with your journey. So keep it up. Fuck the neighbor.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you for sharing that, because honestly, I know that was hard. And the fact that you've been so transparent about that, I know a lot of people would resonate with that. And we might want to fight your neighbor just a little bit, but
Well, I want to fight my neighbor all the time, but I'm like, calm down. It's not worth it. It's fine. Honestly, that is one thing, though, I wish I would have done. Not fought my neighbor.
Okay.
No. But I do wish I would have had a better backbone or just stood up for myself more, instead of just letting her run me over. Just because, when you don't have a lot of confidence and your self-esteem is down because of whatever it is you're going through, for me, it's always been my weight. I kind of just let people treat me like dirt. And so I do hope that if someone else is going for it, like, they have the courage to be like, you fuck you, bitch. Like, you don't talk to me like that. I think I'm getting there now, but I still don't think I have enough balls to be like, you're a fucking asshole for no reason. Maybe one day.
You're going to get there. You're going to get there. It's an intentional act every single day. Keep putting you first. And you're doing that already. You cut her off. Fuck her. And honestly, like, a lot of people are in the chat supporting, saying you're beautiful, that they're so proud of you. So keep up the amazing work. And I just want to say thank you again for sharing your story. You guys, make sure you follow her before she drops down. Give her like 10 seconds here. Make sure you follow. Go follow, because she's got awesome content. And she's out here kicking ass, y'all. So make sure y'all follow her. Hang with me for a day.
Thank you.
My one of my besties, like my in real life besties, she's down there, and she said hang out with her for a day and she'll teach you how to get people right.
Well, if you guys are in Houston, which I know you are, let's do it.
Okay. Thank you so much, my love, for joining me. Have a good one. Let me see if I can. Do you want to see? Try dropping you down real quick. That, my dear, is what we talk about in this community, right? Because there's so many secret frenemies, right? Like, how many of us sit here thinking that somebody is your friend, and next thing you know, they're like literally wishing you the worst or envying the things you have. I've seen it. I've witnessed it firsthand in this community. I know I'm not the only one. I can think of a few. Okay. That part. So we're getting to the halfway mark. Let me see if I had a special guest that was going to come up to make a quick announcement. Let me see if she is here. We got a lot of people popping in and out tonight. If you guys are enjoying this, thank you so much for tapping the screen. We're at 21,000 likes. Keep sharing the live. It's gonna escalate, guys, but I just want to see if my other guest is here. If not, we will move on, because she's got some of her own tea to spill. So let me see if she's here. Is she here? Not quite yet. While we're waiting for her, I honestly join every live with only mindset being to lift people up. I love that. People are saying shit is rigged. Oh, thank you, Nadia. Thank you. Shout out to my bestie, Sin. Scuba Steve in the building. That's hubby. Make sure y'all show them some love. Make sure you follow. What would you say about family that are enemies? Ooh, good question. So while we wait for the guest to come up for her announcement, let's talk about it. Because sometimes your frenemies are family. How do can we cut off family for real? Like, it's Easter, y'all. Did y'all see any of y'all family frenemies? I'm just curious. Girl, I got stories. Okay. Yes, we can. Yes, you can. Okay. Can temporary cutoffs. Okay. Yeah, because sometimes there are little sly comments that do happen amongst family. Yes, we can cut them off. Blocked. No DNA don't mean nothing. Yes, you can. Okay, so we're cutting off cousins and uncles and aunties, right? So the judgmental auntie, how are we cutting her off? Boundaries are a good thing. Yes. Ooh, I love that. Boundaries are very sexy in 2025 and beyond. So if you don't have some hard boundaries, people will absolutely be all in your business. Cut all my husband's fam off and cut most of mine's off if necessary. Do it. Okay, look, Yazzie said I'm bringing out the scissors tonight. Cut. Blood don't mean anything anymore. Your family is what you make it. Facts. I blocked my auntie. Okay, listen, y'all are out here blocking aunties. I'm here for that. So let me see if my guest came up because I know she was wanting to share. Let me send her a text real quick. See if she's still coming up tonight. Let's see. I'm going to send her that real quick. She should be up momentarily. While we're waiting, make sure you are drinking your water and taking your vitamins. If you haven't taken your vitamins, it's a good time to take them now. In the words of Barry Mother, take your multivitamins now. Yeah. So I don't block, want haters. I got patches. Okay, that's fine. Put today. Yes. Get your patches on, girl. She said today. Okay, that part. Today, tonight, whenever, just take it. Okay? Because we don't need you out here with wiggly teeth and loose edges. Okay? We support your edges staying with you and your teeth staying in your mouth. Okay? That's important. Very important. So, I'm going to go ahead and I think my guest might be running a little late. Does Dom got haters though? Does Dom have haters? Does anybody in the chat know if Dom has haters? I don't hate Dom. I think Dom is great. But I do want to give an opportunity for my guest to come up now that I see that she is in the building because we need an update. There's a lot of stuff happening in the community and I think that we need some tea. Did we see what was happening with the ladies of OSLP? And what's the tea, my dear? Welcome in. Oh.
What up?
Oh my God, it's you. I'm sending you a virtual hug.
Oh, I need all the hugs, girl. Give me all the hugs. You look great.
Oh, thank you, darling. I had to get cute for you. I was like, Mel's coming, so I got to get cute for my girl. And she's got her JBY hoodie. I'm here for it.
Rocking that shit. Oh, yeah.
Look, so you know that the community is going insane, right? Second that post went out, we were all like, what the fuck?
I know. Yeah, no, it's shocking. Yes. How do I say this? It's hard because I think me and Kel always knew this day would eventually come, considering what her health is like, and noticing like how much travel and how much being like doing the show and being with people all the time and what that actually does to you. Like it's hard. Yeah. Like recovery's long. Like for those that don't know, you know, Kelly has 4 autoimmune diseases. She has lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, and Raynaud's. And she struggles with that every day. She's chronic illness. And, you know, we do a lot of things and we're go all the time. And you have to really pay attention to your health, and her health is not getting better, unfortunately. So it was just like a huge like decision that had to be made. So, but I love the fact that she's just going to take care of herself, and I want her to be better. I love her to death. Like that's, you know, that's my person. So it's hard, but we're going to keep going, and we're not going anywhere. Like I'm not going anywhere. Like our sleeve life is not just about me and Kel's story. Like this is about our sleeve life, right? So this is about everybody. It's always been about community. I mean, I needed this community. I needed this fucking 10 years ago when I had surgery. Like I'm about to hit my 10-year anniversary next month, and it's so crazy. We're gonna have to do something. I'm so stoked. But back then there was nothing. There was no internet like this. Like there's no community like this. So like I had to create something for myself so I could feel comfortable in my own skin. And that's what I've gotten from all of you guys. So I'm not going to go anywhere. I already have tons of things set up. I have plenty ideas coming, and I love everybody that's messaging me. You guys have ideas. Like, you guys are amazing. Like, I would like to say thank you to this community, because when that post went out, I got such a good, like, I don't know, messaging from you guys. I felt heard. I felt seen. I felt that, like, you guys are there for me. And I cried a lot because I didn't realize, like, oh, like, you know, you've reached out to me. Like, you reached out to us and was like, oh my God. Like, even just knowing that you guys are there was very nice, and it made me feel good. So I'm just glad to have y'all.
Yes. And so for those folks who were wondering, are Kelly and Mel scratching each other's eyes out? The answer is no. Everything's good in the hood, and we are going to keep the show rocking and rolling. We're still going to see OSLP. Mel will be doing her own solo thing. Just For You Awards is not till 2027, so don't freak out, guys. We still got some time here, but be patient. And we just wanted to clear the air, because I think a lot of people were like, I didn't see any signs at JBY. We were watching them interact. They looked like they were cool, and that is just not the case. That is
because we are.
Yeah.
It's much love for that. Like, and we love you guys so much too, that it's just like empowering just to be around y'all. And yeah, like, we have so much coming. It's not like I'm going to be doing my own thing on Thursday. So just be aware, stuff is coming out, and we're just going to rock and roll this, like, just keep moving forward. And you guys I still want to support you guys. I still want to be here. And my health is good right now. So, like, you know what, let's fucking go. And I know that she'll be proud of where we go with this and where it's going to end up. So I just see me at a lot more things. That is what I'm going to tell you right now. So, like, I'm going to be at the Beautiful Mind event. I know there's some drama around that's going on.
I was going to get ready to ask you, are you going to be there?
I will be there.
Okay.
I will be there. So what I have gathered through, I've talked to a lot of people from Pop, and we're friends because we've all, like, go to each other's things, and we love each other and support each other. So it's been interesting, but you know, it's really coming down to it's communication and money. And when it's not, for me, it doesn't feel, there's, like, no immoral things that I've seen, heard of. A lot of our patrons have actually used Pop and even gone through plastics with Pop, and has never had an issue. And the way that they take care of their patients, I'm like, I can't not get behind this. Like, they've been such a good supporter of OSLP, JBY, and, you know, they gave out an actual surgery to someone at the show, and they're going to take care of them like crazy. So it's just really cool to watch. And I'm just going to keep supporting the people that I believe that are going to be good for people.
Right.
So, and I think it's just a money thing, and the world economy is really shitty right now. So it's just scary, and people need money to survive. And you know how hard this job is with, you know, money is scarce. It's not like people think you run a podcast and you make a bunch of money. That's not how that works by any means. So that's no. And that's the same thing with Pop. Like, they are still, like, they have to make a profit so they can help patients. So that's where I'm at that. It's like, it's a business at the end of the day. And I don't, you know, looking at their rates for things, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Like, you know, if I could afford some of the things like they offer, I would be down. Yeah. Not a problem. So yes, I will be there, and I'll be at the Radical Body Transformation event. That's in Toronto. I'll be there with the Waiting Table crew and Anna and Dee. I think Dee might come out. So it's going to be so much fun. So yeah, you're still going to see my face everywhere.
Perfect. And that's what we love to hear, because this community loves OSLP. This community loves the Just For You Award. This community loves you, Mel. So thank you for being so transparent. A lot of things get lost in translation, and then it's this big drama, this big, you know, thing, and it's like, is it really though? So,
is it?
So yeah, so thank you for coming up and just giving us the tea. You gave us the updates on what's happening with OSLP. You gave us your insight from the pop recovery side, and you told us where you're going to be. Did I miss anything? Did we cover it all?
I think we did. We did.
Okay.
Just know that 2 episodes are out. One is with Scott, the 1,000-pound best friends.
Nice.
So his stuff is out right now. His video will be out soon. And then, sorry, Mom. I'm in the car with my brother
Hey, brother.
and my mom.
Hey, mama. Hello.
So those are coming out. And then I do have a scheduled with the waiting table. They're going to be on the pod.
Okay, perfect.
They're going to be the first ones after the transition. So we're going to talk about what does it look like for the future? What ideas do I have? And things like that. So you guys are going to want to tune in.
All right. So we are locked in. Make sure you follow our Sleeve Life podcast and make sure you sign up for the newsletter so you get all the updates. But
That's right.
I love you, my friend.
I love you. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, my love. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. You guys got the inside scoop directly from the source. There's no imaginative, no fake narratives, no weird energy. It's all love. It's all good. So thank you so much for Mel for coming up with the update, because I know a lot of y'all were wondering what is going on, and you heard it here. So make sure y'all following OSLP. Let's move on to the next topic. Are we ready? Are we ready for the next topic? Do you want me to tell you what the next topic point is? Are we ready to talk cheaters? Cheaters, anybody? Cheaters. Are we going to talk about cheaters in the bariatric space? Hello? Are y'all there? Hello? Let me know in the chat. Are we going to dive into the cheaters? Are there any cheaters in this community? Let me know. Have y'all heard any tea? Cheating with food? No, cheating with other humans. Let me know. I'm cheating on my plan. Listen, no, we are talking about full human beings having affairs with other human beings. I know y'all heard. Don't act brand new. And for those on the FYP page, because I know you there. Hi. Yeah, it's okay to pull out your popcorn. You are allowed 1 slider food tonight. We're allowing 1 slider food. Yeah, I damn sure don't know anybody business like that. I really don't care. Listen, sometimes it's best that way. Okay. You know. Listen. It's okay to come in. Folks in the FYP, I want y'all to come in because the chat is on fire. And I gotta ask, why? Like, why do people, and I know this is like a really broad topic, but like, I noticed, I came into this community, right? Let me give y'all a little context. I came into this community, and one of the very first things that came up when I came into the community was, there was this meetup and people were cheating and people were having orgies and people were having affairs and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I thought we was all just like, trying to get skinny. Like, what the hell's going on? And so have y'all heard, experienced any of it? Listen, I was like clutching my pearls. Wait, who's cheating on who with what? And here's the other thing, right? We're not here to yuck your yum. Some people do have arrangements in their relationships that allow for things like, outside extracurricular activities. We're not talking about those folks. Okay? We ain't talking about them folks. If you have that agreement, by all means do you. I'm talking about the people who don't have that agreement in their relationships, but be out here playing dangerously. I'm just curious. Anybody experience any of that? Anybody witness any of that? So here's my take, right? Do we feel like people crash out and find themselves in these situations because maybe now you're in this new body and you feeling yourself And here's another thing that comes up and came up kind of early on in my bariatric communication with people. There's something called the hoe phase. Have any of y'all heard of the hoe phase? Bariatric hoe phase? Anybody? Anybody? Danger, danger. Yes, because they're getting attention. Yes, it's a choice to cheat. Okay, okay. No, okay. Hoe phase, hoe phase. No? Yep, and I love it. Okay, Miss Mamiana, look, I'm here for it. What's that? Okay, so there is this thing that apparently happens to some folks. I'm not going to say all because we're not going to put blanket statements out there. But my understanding is folks get into this bariatric space. They get around other like-minded people who also understand the journeys. Some of these people may or may not have partners. They may be partnered with people, married to people, in relationships with people. But then they make these connections in these spaces with other people who are also in this transition of like, I'm losing weight, I'm looking good, I found my dick, I found my cat. And now that you know where it's at, you trying to put it to some use. Meow. You found the coochie meow meow. And so now it is available. It's accessible. And now you're like, here, you get some. Or maybe you're just giving it to one person. Maybe you're giving it to multiple. I'm not here to yuck your yum. I'm just trying to unpack why and how we fix it or work on it, because I'm seeing it quite a bit. People need to start respecting their relationships, even if it's not going well. End it. Okay? Look, she stood on that. Period. That part. Now, do you think that there is a possibility that people just want to dabble in whatever it is? People need to find themselves instead of others to find them. Oh, I like that. Do you think some people stray because they want to see what it's like to be validated by others outside of their relationship because they aren't getting that validation in their relationship? Or is it that you settled because you were in a bigger body and now you're realizing you like other kinds of treatments? Just like what is in my business. Look, that part. And this is the thing, right? There are a lot of things that I don't subscribe to, right? I have this thing about me. I don't know what it is. But people volunteer information my way. And respectfully, sometimes I decline and I'm like, look, I don't really want to know. But sometimes I got time. They made a choice, glass houses. I think it's for some a combo of both. There's nothing wrong with better treatment, but just leave. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a wise thing to do. Whatever the reason, it's a choice. Yeah. So are we thinking that maybe this community also kind of makes it okay? Because I've also heard, without mentioning any specific names, but I've heard that, it's kind of like the thing to do. Like, it's almost like expected for people to kind of do their thing in this space. Like, the whole phase is like almost embedded into the program. Like, hey, you're gonna lose some weight, you might do some whole shit, but it's cool because now you're small. Just do your thing, go back home. Yeah, names. Y'all are messy and I love it. Ooh, I might need a little extra time because we have one more topic after this one. I think people blame the community, but it happens it does happen in all kinds of community. I can only speak from this specific community because I ain't got no friends like that, y'all. So I'm only in here like that. So names. Y'all want names. Ooh, I don't know if I should drop names. People desperate for attention seek it from people safely unavailable. Okay. That makes sense. Not gonna lie. Someone tried to hit, oops, it went too far, huh? Someone tried to hit at I'm not gonna say the event's name, but someone tried to hit in an event and got shut down so fast. I think Oh, yeah. So here's the thing, right? Because I don't want to give any meetup a bad rep, right? So what happens at meetups, because I've been to two so far, is that community comes together. We get to see what a lot of us look like in person. Maybe there were already tensions building from communications online. Don't know, right? But then you finally get in the same places and spaces with people, which is a perfect segue to my next thing, right? You get in places and spaces with people. Now, what was a virtual situationship or a virtual fantasy turns into this tangible thing, right? And so, look, I'm fine as in person, and my husband don't play about me, period. My husband don't play either. He's in the chat, y'all. This isn't even specific at all, so no named events. Yes, we won't name events, right? And so yeah, people come together, they're having a good time, the hormones, someone actually mentioned, hormones has a lot to do with this. Hormones, that validation, that you feeling good about yourself amongst other people that feel really good about themselves, and then boom, next thing you know. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a fixing it, right? Because I be feeling myself. Look, nothing wrong with you feeling yourself. So who cheated? Yes, he's like, I just want to know who cheated. Girl, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell. But anyways, definitely one of those things that I do agree. It is important to communicate, right? It is important to have that transparency and to be like, you know what? If I want to do me, it's probably a good idea to do me with that my partner knowing that I'm no longer wanting to participate in this monogamous union. And you might be surprised. Some partners may very well be like, well, then do you. And, just come back home. You never know. So look, different strokes for different folks. The transfer addiction is real. Yeah, some people get really addicted to the attention. Some people get very addicted to the feeling of somebody wanting them that's not the somebody in their house. I do me with a... Look, Amber said it. I'm not even going to repeat it because, yeah, get you one of those, right? And if the guys, I don't know, they sell so many things now, guys. You can have your little mental fantasy, but get yourself one of them things, right? But I do want to give some time to this next topic, because to the point about getting in places and spaces with people who they feeling themselves, you feeling yourself, maybe the liquor is flowing. Let's talk predators. Predators have, and let me explain what this is. And I'm just going to go ahead and disclaimer again. This is a very touchy subject matter. So if this is something that may trigger a response in you, I have a responsibility to let you know that it is okay to check off and log off of this live, because predators is a scary one. How many of us document our journeys here? Some people just have a TikTok, but they don't necessarily document. How many of us are documenting our journeys here? Let me know in the chat. Me. I'm also documenting my journey. I go to many meetups and to be aware of who I need to avoid. Me. Yeah. So I want to share a little something with you guys. Hold on a second. I had pulled up some stats here, right? And before I even get into these stats, right, I just want to say something. After tonight's episode, there are going to be some resources available on my link in bio for anyone who feels like this episode may have created any kind of anxiety in them. This episode may have triggered memories or responses that are less than pleasant. Please know there are 24/7 hotlines available for communication with someone who is a trusted mental health professional that is having your best intent and that will hear you out. So please know that I will make that readily available. My team is working diligently right now to make sure that you guys have all of those resources upon exiting the live. So, but yes, let's talk predators, right? My little note sheet kind of blew my mind, right? So predators to me are people who take advantage of people who are putting themselves out there in a vulnerable space, right? And we all do it in some capacity, right? Because we share our stories, we share our vulnerabilities, we share our likes and dislikes, and we hope that people take from it a lesson, or they take something positive from it. And in most cases, I do like to assume positive intent with people. But let me tell you, it has been a very unpleasant experience to find out that some people in this space and in this community have taken information that has been given to them and weaponized that shit, used it against people in a way that made those people uncomfortable. Every 68 seconds in America, an individual is assaulted. Sexual nature. How insane is that? We can sit here for 68 seconds and someone is being victimized. That's wild, right? 1 in 5 women have experienced an attempt on their person. That is very problematic. There are 49, maybe a little more than that on the FYP looking in, people in here. 1 in 5 of those people are probably going to experience some form of an attempt on their person, a sexual assault. And that is devastating. As a mom of 2 young ladies, as a friend to so many of you in this community, it is alarming. Okay? Yeah, and good point, Dee. 1 in 4 men, we're not going to discount the men here. 1 in 4 men experience some form of contact that was not welcome, an unconsensual contact of some sort. We don't really talk about it too much with men because we just expect them to just take it on the chin, right? But no, 1 in 4 men also experience unwanted contact. That to me is very problematic in and of itself too. Because sometimes, we normalize the behavior of, oh, he's a guy, he wants my contact, he wants me to touch him. No, he doesn't. You're cute, girl, but that don't mean you got to touch him. Okay? So I just want to put that out there because I know a lot of times when we throw these stats out, we don't always give a voice to the men. Tonight's live is about bringing a voice to all the people who are suffering and are dealing with these things. One of the things, and I'm not going to name any names because if you guys just so happen to browse through my page, y'all seen that I put this flyer out in several different spaces and places, and I did get some pushback. One of the things that came up was, well, this doesn't happen to me because I don't put myself in these types of environments. I'm in a different place. And that comment really rubbed me the wrong way because it almost felt like you asked for it. And it wasn't that. It wasn't even, and I don't think the intent was bad, but that's what it came off as. And I don't want anyone to ever feel like if they are put in a situation in these spaces and places that there isn't someone there to support you, because that is not true. I have seen friends of mine, myself included, be put in positions where unwanted advances happen. Unwanted advances. This journey is hard enough as it is, right? A lot of us, I've heard this countless of times. I stayed big to not be desirable. That wasn't my situation, but this is something that was said to me. Someone said, I stood big because I've already experienced an attempt on my person. And so if I stood big, I would be undesirable. I would not be a victim. You know how fucked up that is? That you feel like you have to almost hide. It's not cute. Victim blaming is not cute. And the stats are ridiculous. And if I can't control everything happening in the world, but if I can come to this community and just simply say, before you open your mouth to form judgment about a situation that maybe you didn't experience, good for you. Good for you. I'm happy that that didn't happen to you. But that is not the case for every single person in this community. That is not the case for everyone. So many people do use their size as a shield, and unfortunately, it still doesn't keep us safe. Also, if you did not get an explicit yes, that does not mean that you continue to put your hands on a person. That doesn't mean you continue to make advances towards a person, because that person, and I've done this before, where someone has put their hands on me and I froze up. I might have smiled it off. That doesn't mean I was consenting. That just was my trauma response. So understand, everybody's responses may vary. That doesn't mean that your touch is welcome. That doesn't mean that you're okay being in that person's bubble. Know your lane and stay in it. Unless you're invited into that space, absolutely the fuck not. Understand that you don't know how you may be re-traumatizing a person who may have already experienced something. And because you needed to have that touch, you needed to catch that feel, you're getting on your high horse because you're confident all of a sudden about yourself, you want to go and invade that person's space and place. And I don't even need to call out names, because I'm pretty sure they watching. And you know who you are. And you know who y'all are. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's hard enough being bariatric. It is hard enough navigating the mental health piece for you to now add another layer of complexity, another layer of difficulty, another layer of confusion, another layer of pain. People unalive themselves behind things like this. People unalive themselves because they are put in situations where they get victimized and they did not consent to what you took it upon yourself to do. Understand, we don't take that lightly over here at all. This community, we support one another. This community, we see each other. And when we see something that isn't right, before you assume that, oh, this person wanted it, ask, are you okay? Before you, bros, the guys, now I'm talking to you men, right? And I'm only calling y'all out because I want you guys to be cognizant of this. If you see your guys, your friends, your boys, your bros, and they're stepping out of line or getting a little carried away with their touching or what they're saying, check your boys. Check them. It is okay to check your mans. Because it's one of two things. You either check him or he ends up in jail, or he ends up with a foot up his ass. You pick. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Now, ladies, you're cute, beautiful, amazing. That doesn't give you permission to be in anybody's bubble either. It does not. I know we slap each other on the ass, we do the booby thing, but let's be a little bit more conscious, right? Let's be a little bit more respectful of other people's space. Doesn't mean that you're not desirable, but it doesn't give you permission to put your hands on other people. Also, to the point of predators, please know, and this is not to discourage anyone from creating connections, but sometimes there are signs with people when they are gathering information on you. A lot of times they regurgitate all of the things we've shared with them and try to use those things to manipulate how you perceive them, right? So let's let's pretty please keep each other in check, because sometimes you don't see it, but your friends will see it. Sometimes you don't see it, but someone who cares about you sees it. Let's not ignore the red flags either, right? And sometimes, I'm gonna tell y'all, they're a wolf in sheep's clothing. And hold on a second, I gotta put the puzzle in here or it's gonna knock me off the live. There are wolves in sheep's clothing. Not everyone's a safe space. Just because they sound like a safe space, because they present as a safe space, that doesn't mean they're always a safe space. Let me tell you, predators know exactly what to look like, exactly what to sound like, exactly what to say. That's not to say question every single body, but just pay attention. Just pay attention. You would be surprised. You would be surprised. This is not a bashing session at all, because I don't want any of this to be taken in that way. But understand, we are in a community of people who are also in their own healing journeys, right? They're on their own healing journeys. No matter what they, at what stage they are, a lot of people are dealing with their own demons, right? And inadvertently, when they're dealing with their own demons, they create turmoil in other people's lives. They create hurt in other people's lives because they've been hurt and they have not resolved their own hurt. So now they are projecting that hurt onto you. So I just want to, again, remind you guys, this community is great. There's a lot of amazing people in this community, but by that same thought process, there are a lot of people who are still figuring their shit out, right? So be mindful of who you keep in your space, how you feel around these people, what they do, with how they deal with other people, right? Because sometimes that's an indicator, right? See how they're dealing with other people. Do they respect the people in their lives that they claim to love, right? And use your discernment or talk to somebody. None of us are alone here. None of us are alone here. There will always be someone who is ready and willing to hear you out. Don't think that you need to retreat because somebody made you feel uncomfortable. No, that's what they want. And we're not going to give them that. We're not going to give them that. Okay, we're going to make them feel uncomfortable. And I hope they do feel uncomfortable because they know exactly who they are. Hi. But anyhow, I digress. The link is going to be in the bio. There are several hotlines readily available for assistance with anyone who feels like they want to share. The National Sexual Violence Resource Center has a lot of amazing resources online. RAIN has a 24/7 support line. That support line number, if one of my moms could put the number in the chat, it is 1-800-656-4673. Again, that was 1-800-656-4673. That is a 24/7 hotline. Thank you so much, Drew. That is a 24/7 hotline. They will hear you out anonymously. Please, please, please understand that you are not alone. You may not want to share with a family member. You may not want to share with a loved one. Call that number. They will hear you out. They will give you the listening ear with no judgment. They won't even ask you your name. And they will be there to support you. You are absolutely, Milani, you are not alone. You are not alone. And understand that while this community is, we mentioned some of the not so positive things, it is also a great space, a great resource, a great tool. I want to take the time to just say thank you to all of you guys who were brave enough to come up and participate in the chat and share your stories and points of views. I know the flyer was very, but we have to fucking rip the Band-Aid. We can't keep putting a Band-Aid on an infected wound. That wound's only gonna get worse. We have to tend to it. It's cringy, yes. It's uncomfortable, yes. But what happens to the victims? They have to sit with that because no one wants to talk about it. And that's not fair. That is not fair. We need to give a voice to the people who are sitting back with these things happening to them. Whether it's the food police, whether it's the frenemies, whether they're getting cheated on whether they're dealing with predators. We need to give voices to people because at the end of the day, we're more than just our bariatric surgery. We're human beings trying to exist in this space, trying to do the best we fucking can. And the last thing I want anyone to feel is that their voice isn't important. Talk Bear to me is always going to go there. We are going to go to the uncomfortable places. We are going to talk about uncomfortable things because at the end of the day, guess who's sitting with that discomfort quietly? The victims. The people who are experiencing these things and have nowhere to go or no one who feels like they see them. We see you and we hear you and we love you and we support you. Please know that. And for the people perpetuating this stuff, the people that are doing this shit, get some healing. Thank you very much. Get some healing. Because hurt people, but that is not our responsibility. That is not for us to deal with. You need to get you a certified, legitimate therapist and some medication if so. Whatever you need to do, go do it. But stop putting hurt on other people because you're hurt, because you're insecure. Whew, child, I'm tired. If you guys enjoyed this live, let's do something real quick for the people who have experienced these things because I want them to feel the love. Let's drop some hearts in the chat for the people who have been going through these things by themselves. I want them to know that they're not by themselves. If y'all can drop some hearts in the chat, that would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for dropping those hearts. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you. It is Sexual Assault Awareness Month from here and through April and the end of April, from now to the end of April. And I want you to know that we are here to support you. The resources are going to be readily available. TBTM, you can check the web link in bio shortly after this. We're going to put some information out for you guys. So thank you, chat, for showing love to all those impacted by sexual assault or any other of the matters that we addressed today. I appreciate you guys in the chat. Thank you so much, the mods. You guys were super awesome. You know I can't leave you without saying a quick word of affirmation. People throw shade on what shines, but baby, when in doubt, I want us to shine brighter, and I want us to shine brighter together. I love you guys. See you next week, Sunday. Bye. Bye, guys.